Good evening. It's 8 o'clock. The top headlines tonight. Well, amid our deadly second surge, India's cases are the highest in the world for a second day running. The good news, record vaccinations also on Monday at 4.3 million. The centre says today we're not opening vaccination for all yet. Vaccines are for those who need it, not those who want it. Night curfew announced today in India's capital, Delhi, from 10 p.m. tonight to 5 a.m. the next morning. High positivity rate is the reason for the curfews of the Delhi government as Delhi crosses 5,000 cases today. But in Delhi and Mumbai, restaurant owners are protesting, saying this is killing us. India's biggest vaccine manufacturer on NDTV says we are short currently of being able to supply to every Indian who needs it. Hope the government will financially support us to step up production. The irony, that vaccine manufacturing unit in Pune, but look at what's happening in Pune hospitals. Patients are now being treated in waiting areas as beds run out. And election day for Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry vote in the south. In Assam also voting ends today. Tamil superstars vote. Kanimoi comes in PPE to vote as well. There's actor Vijay cycling. And for the Kerala Chief Minister, Lodayappa supports the left front. Justice Ramana will be the next Chief Justice of India after Chief Justice Bobde's term ends at the end of April. Markets up today after huge Monday drop, but meanwhile, the IMF also ups India's forecast to 12.5% this year. Well, let's begin with the latest numbers. Well, nearly 97,000 new cases in the last 24 hours. That's a day after we crossed 1 lakh cases. This means that over the last 2 days, India has averaged 1 lakh cases per day. That's the highest in the world. Also, 446 deaths in the last 24 hours. That's down from yesterday. But again, our average daily deaths are the highest in 4 months. So for 2 days now, we've averaged 1 lakh cases per day. And let's just look at how drastically the situation has changed with this fast news spreading variants. 5.9 lakh cases in the last 7 days compared to 1.1 lakh just a month ago. The percentage change over the previous week is striking. 44% change as of today, but just 9% a month ago. The positivity rate is now also almost 8%, way above the government's stated target of keeping it well under 5%. And many more states are affected by the upsurge. A month ago, only 2 states reported a weekly total of over 10,000 cases. Today, there are 13. And 9 states as of today have more than doubled or almost double cases this week, like UP, Bihar and Bengal. A month ago, there's only one such state, Haryana. However, in this month, India's average vaccinations per day have improved from 9 lakhs to 32 lakhs and over 40 lakhs. As we see in India's vaccination of the last 24 hours, a record 43 lakh doses given in 24 hours. And as the government pointed out, the USA took to 112 days to administer 165 million doses. India took 79 days. But if we look at how many months it will take to vaccinate just the 45 plus age group, it will be about 4.5 months group. It will be about almost 4.5 months. And today the government said vaccines are for those who need it. We can't open it up for all yet. It's not for those who want it.
In the Western countries, more developed countries, the number of death is significantly higher than India. The basic aim is to reduce death through vaccination. What is the other aim? The other aim is to protect your healthcare system. जो सबसे vulnerable हैं, उनको आप कैसे बचाएं और अपनी स्वास्थ्य व्यवस्था को कैसे सुरक्षित रखें. उद्देश्य हमेशा ये होता है जिसको जरूरत है उसको टीका दिया.
So record numbers there, but record cases also. Delhi touching the highest since November at over 5,000 cases. Mumbai crossing 10,000. So night curfews announced today in Delhi. This is after, of course, Maharashtra also announced a night curfew. Let's just go across to Akshay live because that night curfew from 10 o'clock tonight comes into effect tonight. Akshay, you're in a Khan Market, one of Delhi's busiest shopping and restaurant hub. What's the reaction there of this night curfew?
Well, very interesting reaction, Sonia. Right now I'm at the Khan market, and as you can see, there are a lot of restaurants that are open here. A lot of people come every day as far as the restaurants are concerned. We have Pratyaksh here with us, who has come to Khan market. He was walking here and we asked him to give us a reaction on this. Pratyaksh, how do you feel about this particular night curfew? Do you prefer to go out at night? What is
so to be honest, I prefer going out at night and chilling with my friends rather as opposed to the morning time, because there's a lot of traffic and everyone is busy in their work. But if night curfew is something that it takes to curb the spread of virus, then we are all up for it, because people are taking the virus too lightly and it's spreading at a faster rate than we all expected.
Right.
So, but the studies are suggesting that the weekend lockdowns and this night curfew and everything, it's not that much impactful to curb the spread of virus.
Okay.
So let's hope.
Very optimistic about it.
Yeah, I'm not very optimistic about the results.
Huh.
But if the virus spread does not goes down, but if it's able to implant an idea among people that if we don't get serious now, stricter measures would be imposed like last year.
Then that will be helpful.
Then even that is a win.
Right. Sonia, also we have Gurmeher here with us, owner and chef of restaurant The Clap. That restaurant opened just yesterday. Gurmeher, how do you feel about this particular curfew now?
Well, I was quite positive about it until yesterday, till the time I woke up in the morning and I saw this news. But nonetheless, I feel the positive energy should be still on. The F&B industry is still in the struggle back to, it reminds me of the mid last year, the same position we were in.
Right.
Hopefully, let's see, because of the restaurant being new, we should keep the positive energy high and get things back into normal.
So that was Gurmeher. Clearly, people are optimistic, but there are a lot of questions that whether it will work or not.
No, and of course, Akshay, I mean, in a sense, it's a hard blow that just one day after opening his restaurant, a night curfew is in. And that's why we've seen protests in Mumbai and Delhi as well, with restaurant owners saying, what happens to us? What about livelihood as well as lives?
First day of lockdown-style strict restrictions in Maharashtra, and right now I am in Dadar, which is known for its marketplace. And as per the guidelines, all the shops except for essentials will have to be closed.
Under the new break the chain guidelines in Maharashtra, all restaurants, hotels, bars, garment stores, all non-essential services shut till the 30th of April. But restaurant owners and trader associations are unhappy, and there were protests across Mumbai. Akhilesh Gaikwad, who runs a restaurant in Chembur, says that at least delivery timings should be extended.
ये रेस्टोरेंट का आफ्टर 8 o'clock होता है, because 75% of revenue comes after 8 o'clock. अगर हमें 8 बजे के बाद अगर पार्सल देने के लिए गवर्नमेंट अलाउ करती है, तो थोड़ा बहुत हमें काफी रिलीफ मिल जाएगा.
In Delhi, with the COVID surge spiraling out of control, the government has announced a night curfew till the 30th of April. Only those involved in essential services, those travelling to get vaccinated or treatment, will be allowed out between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m.
We have been dealing with this for the past year and a half. There's been a lockdown already. This is a night curfew. And there's a limit to the amount of hits any industry can take. And the amount of hits has shot up. When finally the industries are coming up again, this is again a step.
मैम गवर्नमेंट ने जो क्या सोच समझ के किया, हमें तो गवर्नमेंट के साथ ही चलना है. वो भी उनको भी पब्लिक के फायदे के लिए कर रहे हैं.
कर्फ्यू होने से बैंक्वेट हॉल, फार्म हाउसेस, रेस्टोरेंट, होटल्स और इस प्रकार के जो व्यवसाय हैं, जो बड़ी मुश्किल से पिछले लॉकडाउन के बाद से आकर के अब थोड़ा संभले थे, एक बार फिर उनके व्यापार को धक्का पहुंचने वाला है.
The Delhi government has always maintained that lockdowns and curfews are not a solution to the spreading COVID-19 pandemic. But with this night curfew, it seems that the government wants to give a signal to the public that if the pandemic doesn't get under control, then there will have to be certain strong decisions by the government to contain it. With Purva Chitnis in Mumbai, Sonakshi Chakrabarti and camera person Mohammad Mursaleen, I'm Akshay Dongre for NDTV.
Moving now to an NDTV exclusive, speaking to one of the world's largest vaccine manufacturers, Adar Poonawalla, the Serum Institute in Pune. When asked that how ready is the institute to actually provide vaccines for all Indians who need it, he said they are very, very stressed and needed financial support from the government.
At this price of 150 to 160 rupees a dose, is it actually less? Are you actually earning less than what you're spending to manufacture the dose?
No, absolutely not. There is some profit at this price, but the profit varies when the volumes go up and down. At the moment, the price that is set is profitable. However, it is not profitable enough to reinvest substantially in building capacity, innovating new vaccines, including the new variants that we may need to develop and make and go into clinical trials and other things.
And here's the biggest irony, that this vaccination institute is actually in Pune, and Maharashtra is the worst hit, struggling to open up vaccinations for all. Our special report on how health infrastructure in Maharashtra is struggling to cope with the latest COVID surge.
In Nashik, long lines for the life-saving drug Remdesivir. Stocks are running thin and public anger is building up.
बोलते जिनके पास फॉर्म है वो भी घर पे जाओ, इंजेक्शन का स्टॉक खत्म हो गया, इंजेक्शन नहीं मिलेंगे. बहुत तकलीफ में हम सुबह 9:30 बजे से खड़े, आप टेम्परेचर देख सकते हैं, पूरा डिहाइड्रेशन हो रहा है हमें.
आम्ही 4-4 तास उन्हामध्ये उभा राहतो, आतमध्ये गेल्यानंतर आम्हाला सांगितलं जातं की हे डॉक्युमेंट नको ते डॉक्युमेंट नको.
In the past 5 days, both private and government hospitals are filling up fast in Nashik. Cabinet Minister in charge, Chhagan Bhujbal, doing the rounds of hospitals. And the government's urgent appeal, please get tested on time, as the key to recovery is timely testing.
लवकर निदान करा आणि दुसरी गोष्ट वॅक्सिनेशन करा.
The worst affected district, Pune, ICUs and oxygen beds filled to capacity. In Pimpari's Yashwantrao Chavan Memorial Hospital, a special triage area created to provide emergency oxygen to patients before they can be accommodated at hospitals.
अभी जैसे ये सेकेंड वेव के लिए पेशेंट्स बढ़ रहे हैं, तो हम लोग ने बेड्स भी बढ़ा दिए हैं, स्टाफ भी बढ़ा दिया है. अभी 6-7 बेड्स ऑक्सीजन के यहाँ पे हैं. तो जैसे ही अगर पेशेंट्स और बढ़ेंगे तो उसका अलग से प्राविधान करना पड़ेगा.
In Nagpur, patients forced to share beds. Social service organizations working in the healthcare sector say oxygen is in short supply in many districts of Maharashtra.
औरंगाबाद में गैस सिलेंडर की बहुत दिक्कत हो रही है. जो रिफिलिंग के चार्जेस 150 रुपीस हुआ करते थे, अब वो 350 हो चुके हैं. 10,000 रुपीस में सिलेंडर्स सेल किया जा रहा है.
सरकारी अस्पताल तो पूरे सब भर गए हैं, लेकिन प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल्स में भी कहीं पर जगह नहीं है. इसमें 2-3 बातें बहुत ही खेदजनक है, जिसमें ऑक्सीजन की कमी हर जगह पर महसूस हो रही है.
In Mumbai too, the BMC dashboard suggests 92% of ICU beds and 93% of ventilators have been taken up. With the surge continuing, the infrastructure is clearly bursting at the seams. With Kishore Belsere in Nashik and Pooja Bhardwaj in Mumbai, Harsha Kumari Singh, NDTV.
But if you're in the election states, it's as if COVID isn't happening. Here, the big focus was voting today, because 4 of the 5 states have finished voting. Over 20 crore voters have decided who will be the next government in their state. So that includes, of course, our reporters who track that from all over, Moni Deepa, West Bengal, Sam, Sneha, and all other reporters there covering it the whole day. Let's just look first at Tamil Nadu, which had its single-phase polling today.
Vijay Krishnan and Siddhi escorting their 24-year-old daughter Neelima to vote, together as a family but differing on political ideology.
So you both
have politically different ideologies, is it?
Definitely.
Definitely. How do you rate the current left government in terms of all its performance from 1 to 10?
1 to 10, I rate it 8.
8. Sir, how do you rate the current left government 1 to 10?
5.
5.
Despite high voters' turnout, mostly no long queues or overcrowding. COVID protocols followed with an additional 15,700 voting booths compared to 2016 assembly elections.
This is very large space, so we are not scared of corona.
The month-long political campaigns have revolved around development, allegations of corruption against the ruling front and the opposition Congress-led front, as well as BJP strongly opposing women in menstruating years entering Sabrimala. The war of words continued today as well. While responding to a question from the media, CM said,
അയ്യപ്പനും ഈ നാട്ടിലെ എല്ലാ ദേവഗണങ്ങളും മറ്റ് മുഴുവൻ വിശ്വാസികളുടെ ആരാധനാമൂർത്തികളും ഈ സർക്കാരിനോടൊപ്പമാണ്. ഇപ്പോൾ ജനങ്ങൾക്ക് ഗുണം ചെയ്യുന്നവരുടെ കൂടെയാണ് എല്ലാ കാലത്തും ഈ പറയുന്ന എല്ലാ ദേവഗണങ്ങളും. ഇപ്പോൾ നിരീശ്വരവാദിയായ പിണറായി വിജയൻ അയ്യപ്പന്റെ കാല് പിടിക്കുന്നു എന്നുള്ളതാണോ ഇതിനെ മനസ്സിലാക്കേണ്ടത്? അയ്യപ്പ ഭക്തന്മാരുടെ വികാരങ്ങളെ ചവിട്ടി മെതിച്ച ഒരു മുഖ്യമന്ത്രിയോട് അയ്യപ്പനും പൊറുക്കില്ല, അയ്യപ്പ വിശ്വാസികളും പൊറുക്കില്ല.
The left in Kerala aiming to create history with a consecutive re-election, challenged by the principal opposition, that's the Congress-led front, in a state that has largely alternated between a left and a Congress-led front in the government, even as BJP tries to improve its tally from 1 MLA in the state. Voters have decided. With camera person SP Babu, Sneha Koshi for NDTV.
At daybreak, voters queue up in Kokrajhar, the heart of Assam's Bodo territories. It's here that the key alliances of national parties will be tested. The Congress is counting on its new alliance with this man, Bodo leader and former militant Hagrama Mohilari, who walked out of the NDA into the Congress Mahajot.
इलेक्शन क्रूशियल हो सकता है, लेकिन पब्लिक मैंडेट हमारे पास है. हम ही जीतेंगे, महाजोधी जीतेंगे, महाजोधी सरकार बनाएंगे. किंग मेकर तो पहले से ही है हम.
The BJP has a new Bodo ally, Pramod Bodo. In a region rocked by unrest, voters spoke of peace.
अभी तो शान है, अभी फिलहाल अभी पूरा शान है, अभी वोट चल रहा है अच्छे से. अभी देखो फिलहाल अभी इतना आदमी है अभी वोट देने के लिए.
उम्मीद क्या है आप लोगों की?
उम्मीद क्या बोलेगा? अभी देखो नया सरकार आएगा तो नया होगा.
Yeah, peace has been established, that's very true, but at the same time, like, we need prosperity. Employment is one of the issues, and like the recent price hikes, we don't know like how we are going to vote, like, because there are new possibilities.
In 2016, the BJP and its allies were able to win many seats in Lower Assam due to division in the Bengali Muslim votes between Congress and the AIUDF. But this time, the two opposition parties are part of the Mahajot, and thus the equations have changed. On top of it, NRC and CA seems to be playing in the minds of the voters in Lower Assam.
Muslim voters say it has made their choices easier.
देखिए क्या है कि अभी जो बोल रहा है कि एनआरसी फिर से लागू हो रहा है, लेकिन पिछले जो एनआरसी किया था उसमें बहुत से पब्लिक हेरेसमेंट होता था, जैसे कि ट्रेड में एक जगह से दूसरी पर जाना, ट्रैवलिंग करना, बहुत से लोगों का मौत भी हो गया उस वजह से. लेकिन अभी बोल रहा है कि दोबारा लाएगा, ये हमको अच्छा नहीं लगा.
But the BJP claims they have dominated all phases.
First phase will get around 40 seats. Second phase will get around 25 seats. Today we will get around 22 seats. In the last phase particularly, initially we thought there will be some challenges, but because of certain utterances and wrong policy, BJP has gained momentum.
In Kokrajhar with Sanjay Chakrabarti and Ratndeep Chaudhary, Usama Shab for NDTV.
In other news, the next Chief Justice of India will be Justice N.V. Ramanna. Justice Ramanna takes over at the end of this month on the 24th of April when Chief Justice Bobde retires. He is a first-generation lawyer from an agricultural family. He is also the second Chief Justice of India from Andhra Pradesh. A Supreme Court panel had cleared him of charges made by the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister before the recommendation to the government that he be appointed the next Chief Justice of India. Among his recent major judgments include the right to freedom of speech and expression over internet as a fundamental right. Well, in other news, the International Monetary Fund has increased India's growth forecast to 12.5% this year. The previous forecast was 11.5%. However, this forecast was before India's recent surge in COVID cases that may impact it. But as of now, this is the latest IMF forecast for India in the year ahead.